Hello everybody, Jake, your resident content cowboy here, Yeehaw, and this is a video going over the best talents for all of the new Cenarion units in the game. These are of course going to be my opinions, but I'm going to try to back them up with facts and logic. I'm going to crush it with facts and logic. Shout out to Blizzard. Thank you so much for sponsoring this and other videos on this channel. Let's start taking a look at these units here. I'm going to start with the leaders. So let's start with Onu. The three talents are Bark Skin, Petrify, and From the Trees. I have used Bark Skin, From the Trees, and I've seen some Petrify. My take is From the Trees is pretty good. I mean, anything you deploy there dealing double damage on their first attack is really nice, and there are some units that take huge advantage of this, right? Bark Skin, I don't love. Minis deployed here get armor for 8 seconds. You're kind of already up in the mix, or if you're not, like, it's just a little while you're walking. Armored is good, and this could like make some very specific setups work, but I'm just not in love with Bark Skin. I would not recommend Bark Skin. From the Trees, good. Petrify, though, seems to actually be pretty legit, because Petrify works to let you put down another Onu if you want and continue your push. So you can kind of chain Onus moving through the map, which could be pretty powerful. For me, it's either From the Trees or Petrify. From what I have and have played the most, it's definitely From the Trees. Okay, let's talk about Cenarius. Cenarius has 3 talents as well, like all units. I'm not saying something you don't know here. Revitalize, Force of Nature, Wild Growth. I have not seen or really heard anyone talk about Wild Growth. It doesn't seem that ideal. I'm sure there are some situations that could be kind of cool because of this, but otherwise it's just kind of, I don't know, it feels like sort of an inconsistent one. Revitalize and Force of Nature I've used a decent amount. Revitalize is pretty good. Triggering an additional heal pulse when allies walk in is nice, especially if you have low cost allies that you're moving through there a lot. You just get extra pulses of healing. I personally prefer Force of Nature. I think Force of Nature is great. It just gives you additional units, especially if your enemies are playing low cost or squad units. A lot of the times it's really easy to clear some of these right when they walk in to kind of Cenarius's area of influence right there. And it also combos with Earth and Moon, your spell right here. So when you do cast the Vines version of this and they get rooted like that, you can also get them to become treants that way. I just think it's a really cool talent. I'll have to say, I think Revitalize is probably stereotypically better, while Force of Nature is really fun and really cool, and summoning extra units is great, and I love it. So that's what I think about Cenarius. For me, it's Force of Nature is what I'd recommend, but I do think Revitalize is really, really good. On to our Cenarion units here. Let's start with Ancient of War. Sapling, Behemoth, or Lightning Rod. I think Behemoth sounded cool, and I've used it a decent amount, and it's not very good. I just don't think it's that great. Like, siege damage is nice, but I don't think it makes a big enough difference. Lightning Rod, I have not used, but I've heard people talk about it and seen some videos of people using it. This one seems really cool, especially for PvP. It's just very specific and like a really cool counter to some plays. But it's like, I mean, for lack of a better term, it's just complex and a little weird, but I do think it's quite good. However, for my money, Sapling is so good. I play Ancient of War oftentimes as a very low-cost tank to divert enemy attention, and this is just great. If you play it for 4 or less, you get 60% attack speed. I think it's awesome. That's the one I would definitely recommend is Sapling. Taking a look at Bog Beast, we have Flourish, Rampant Growth, and Living Wood. Flourish, heals received are 30% more effective. Not bad. Rampant Growth, on death, root nearby enemies for 6 seconds. I could see some combinations here. 6 seconds is a long time, so you could set up some cool plays, but this one feels odd. And then you have Living Wood, gaining armor until 50% health. I think this is the best of the 3 is Living Wood. That's the one I like the most. I could definitely see some decks where Flourish works really well, though. Rampant Growth is very specific, so it is not the one I would recommend. You'd have to have like some specific plans around it, but I bet it's super annoying for your opponents. Moonkin. Moonkin's talents are Vengeance, Moonglow, Typhoon. I have not seen Typhoon. I've heard some talk of Typhoon, and it sounds like it's really fun. Vengeance is good. I would say. It seems pretty good. It's like kind of, I feel like all the talents here are quite underwhelming for Moonkin. However, I have been playing a Moonglow build where you drop Moonkin right into the longer cast of Earth and Moon, which I think is actually pretty good. I think for most players, I like taking talents that you don't have to think about. So I like taking a talent that's good, even if you're not paying enough attention. Maybe that's because of my level of intelligence. Who knows? But I would take Vengeance. I do think Moonglow's got some options. Again, I can't really speak much to Typhoon. It seems like kind of fun, but also not that crazy useful. Let's see. Fairy Dragon. This is an older unit. It's not as new as the rest. It has Phase Shift, Invincibility, Fey Blessing. Phase Shift, teleport backwards when attacked. Okay. You know, we'll reset the aggro, give you another shot, another bite at the apple. Invisibility, gain stealth. Always good to have something like that. Fey Blessing, once per deploy, grant resist to a nearby ally. This is what I run is Fey Blessing. I love this. It's very similar to Frostwolf Shaman, right? And you can put it into decks where you want extra resist, and it can help you out a lot. I think it's the way to go, personally, is Fey Blessing. And now, of course, we have Earth and Moon. It's the spell that was added kind of before the Cenarion families dropped, but pretty recently. The three talents, Moon Fury, Nature's Grace, and Balance. Moon Fury makes Starfall last 25% longer. This is so great. Like, Moon Fury is just so good. Starfall is it's a high cost spell, but dang, it already lasts for a long time. It does a lot of damage and sets up some super cheesy situations with towers and things like that on the map. It being more expensive than Blizzard sometimes like makes me think I should just be running Blizzard instead, but I have been running it a lot, and I do think the 25% extra length on Starfall is incredibly good. Nature's Grace, Entangling Roots, also grants all allies resist for 6 seconds. This is like, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but granting the buff, the defensive buff there for a short amount of time, it does kind of feel like the other talent that we were looking at where it's like on Onu where you grant armored for a short amount of time and you just think, I don't know, is that really what I want to be doing, is having a short buff to my allies inside of Entangling Roots specific cast on Earth and Moon? It just doesn't feel that great to me. And then Balance can be cast a second time. I don't really see the huge point behind this. Like, I guess you could go like Entangling Roots right into a Moon Fury, but excuse me, Entangling Roots like right into the Starfalls, or whatever you would call it. What do you call it? You call it Roots, and it says Roots and Damage. So I don't know exactly what they call it. Okay, one is called Starfall, and the other, like, yeah, is Entangling Roots. So yeah, I don't know why you would want to do that, but yeah, I guess you could Entangling Roots right into a Starfall. I guess you could do something like that. For me, this is like Moon Fury for sure. I think it's very much the best. So there you go. That's what I think are the best talents for the new Cenarion family. Tell me what you think I got right. Tell me what you think I got wrong. What do you think I actually am dead on about? And what do you think is a talent that I'm super overlooking? I would love to hear from you in the comments. These are just my opinions after playing through the Cenarion event. I've been playing it every day, and I've really been liking the new family, but I'm sure there are some blind spots that I have. Thank you very much to all of you for watching. Thank you to Blizzard once again for sponsoring this and other videos on the channel. I love you. I'll see y'all next time. We did it.